We are here today to talk about stress. We get so many comments about stress in relationships. We want to hear your advice for couples, specifically women. We're talking to the women today that have seen a lot of stress in their husbands, and they come home feeling stressed, or maybe they're going through a stressful time in their lives. Sherry Lynn, and I am here with Dixie and Forsyth and her husband, Dr. Robert Forsyth. Hi.
Hi. Stress. I think stress is, some people think, I wish I could have a stress-free life. Not going to happen. I guarantee
It's never going to happen.
When you think things are kind of going well, something's going to happen. I don't know, your car is going to break down, or something is going to happen. I guarantee it. So it's not so much a matter of having no stress or totally eliminating it for you or for your kids. You can't eliminate it for your husband. You can't eliminate it for your kids. Actually, they need to learn to deal with stress. And that's more important than how to not have stress. No, we're going to have stress, but if you could increase your ability to deal with it, that's great. Now, Dixie says, I never really get stressed. No,
I said you don't go down to the basement.
Well, she talks about in there going down in the basement, which is essentially equivalency for getting stressed out and going on survival and fight or flight and all that kind of stuff. I go down, but I know how to get up quickly. And really, I think learning life skills, probably one of the best ones, is how to get upstairs when you do go downstairs. Because going downstairs is so easy to do. It takes nothing. It's like a fire pole. You're down there. And getting up is a little trickier because you almost like have to climb the stairs and go get back up there intentionally. Stress is normal. Getting out of it is a skill, I think, or dealing with it is a skill.
Yeah, and I've heard you all say several times, just being aware of it is huge, whether you're up or down.
Yeah, I've got to say, Dixie wanted this information in her book. In fact, I said, this is a little too complex. I don't know that we should even get into this in your book, but she says, no, this has been so helpful to me to understand this about how my brain and my stress response system works. I believe she's done a really great job of simplifying an incredibly complex concept and making it understandable with the idea that, in a way, just something simple about the brain. This is kind of somewhat of a metaphor, but the brain has downstairs and upstairs. And downstairs is more the fight or flight or the stress response part of us. There's a part of the downstairs brain that we kind of refer to, we've just kind of started referring to it as the guard dog. It's basically the amygdala, which is a part of the brain that is always on guard or watching for some kind of threat or danger or something difficult to deal with.
So when your husband is downstairs,
right?
Our ladies, I think, would like to know, how can you help him without going down there yourself?
Well, I think that's the trick. If I come in and I'm downstairs and I'm upset, and you can tell, you can probably see my eyebrows going. You could see something, tone of voice, just body movement. You can see, okay, this is downstairs stuff. This is survival stuff. This is fight or flight. If you can see that, I got to say, ideally, it's good if you don't go down there too, because it's so easy. If he comes in grumpy, then you can get grumpy too. What's your problem? You come home and this is what I get. Or I don't know, whatever you might say.
Well, but the thing is, I think a lot of ladies, and I know I'm this way, feel like he's downstairs. Is that something that's going to affect me? Like, in other words, if you had a problem at work, did he lose his job? That would definitely affect you. Your income, your lifestyle.
You want to know what it means?
Some of the downstairs.
What does this mean? If I come in stressed, I'm probably more concerned about, I'm downstairs and I'm feeling stress. I am, there's probably a part of me that would like to run, or maybe part of me wants to fight. And sometimes I think we talk about the third one that people don't always mention, that's freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. People don't always understand the freeze part, but that's really just where you've kind of got the gas and brakes on at the same time. Like if a policeman pulls you over, you're driving with your kids, your guard dog's going to say run, but you can't, you're not going to do that. It's going to say fight. No, I don't think I can't fight. I can't run or fight. What's the third one? Well, it's almost like you've got two sets of chemistry going at the same time. One that says do something, fight or fight. The other says no, don't do anything. So you've got gas and brakes on at the same time. It's kind of important to understand how that works. I don't know whether that makes sense. I don't mean to get...
That does make sense. That's very interesting. And I think that a lot of people will identify, if they're watching this, they're going to go, light bulb, because we don't hear about that very often.
Well, everybody knows that feeling of freeze.
Yeah.
With that policeman, you're going to kind of go into a freeze mode, and you're going to just be polite and cooperative. And then later, you're going to feel that stress and want to yell or run or who knows what.
Yeah.
So when he comes home and he is in the basement, what can she do?
What can she do, and what should she not do? I think it's important to cover both.
What to me is important is realize that you have options. Now, sometimes we don't even know that. We just automatic. Downstairs is very automatic. So it's almost like you don't even think about it. He comes in grumpy and maybe even yelling at somebody that you think, where'd that come from? And you start yelling at him, and pretty soon you're both down there, and you're both in a really stressed out state, and that doesn't go anywhere good. I guarantee it.
Don't go down there with him, and by that we mean don't immediately the trigger that's could trigger your downstairs is think, okay, before I get downstairs myself, find out what he needs to do to get upstairs for me, not telling him what to do. So by not going down there, it means you don't talk about the triggers, like what's going on, what happened, what did I do wrong? Don't jump into it.
What does this all mean?
Don't jump into it. The very first thing to do is to find out the simple things. Is there anything I can do to help calm his guard dog or help encourage him to get upstairs? Is he hungry? Is he tired? Simple things. You may not be able to do something about his anxiety if he's just been in a fender bender and someone clipped his car and he's upset about that.
Mm-hmm. Can you also touch on the mothering aspect? We had a question the other day from a woman who said her husband was stressed, and she went into this she didn't call it mothering mode, but she kind of described a mothering mode where she said, I put your favorite show on and I made you this and I put this out for you and I did this. And he said, okay, I'm not a baby. And she said, oh gosh, what did I do wrong?
I think it might be better to be a little bit more subtle, like maybe putting out snack, just putting it out. Okay. That would be less mothering. It would be more sensitive to his needs than I put your favorite show on for you. I mean, if I was stressed, I don't think I would want, I'm a woman though. If I was stressed, I wouldn't want Bob to put on my favorite show if I needed to talk first.
Well, you might even ask him, would you like to talk? He may not be ready yet. Say, no, I don't.
Do you need to talk?
How are you doing? I'm fine.
Is there anything I can do? If he's the kind of a guy who gets comfort from food comfort, put out a snack.
If there's kids, sometimes kids will react to stress. They don't understand it, but they can feel it.
Animals too.
And animals. The dog may start barking, or a daughter or son may start crying or acting out. Sometimes if that child is anxious, they will start getting into trouble. If the two of you all of a sudden see a son throw a chair down, it's almost like, what's going on there? He may be just reacting to stress and trying to distract you guys from the stress that he's feeling. He doesn't know what's going on, so he just acts it out. Because kids often, they feel something, but they don't know how to say it or are not in touch with it, so they just act it out.
So when it comes to what not to do, don't engage. Say if you can recognize he's in the downstairs. Some people think, I can't help it.
You have options.
It's difficult, but it's a learned skill. You can learn it. I'm going to go down there if I'm not really careful because I know me. I'm going to try and help him first. And I'm glad you pointed out the mothering thing. A lot of men do not want to marry their mother. Still be sensitive and kind and nurturing to him without mothering.
One woman said she liked to try and joke with him. She could jolly him out of it. That may be timing. Yeah, I wouldn't probably do that at that point, but sometimes distracting can be helpful too. If he's at least willing to engage a little bit, you might just tell him something that happened that day or something else that's going on. Sometimes a distraction is that he's probably going to need a little bit of cave time. I mean, I think sometimes people say he had to go into his cave, and I think there's some truth to that because men process things more non-verbally or usually often more in action, something they're going to do. Like maybe he might even sit down. I've had one woman tell me her husband, he came home stressed, he'd sit down, he wanted to turn on a football game. Or it's almost like he could see the conflict and the stress in front of him, and it allowed him to be part of it and act it out, even though he was only more just watching it. But it's sort of like a dream where I feel like I'm in the game. She's looking at it from a totally different kind of perspective.
But if I don't know any of the players, I don't really care who wins or loses.
But you like to kind of escape in that game.
Yes.
And you might have a different way that you like to escape.
If he's down there and needs to go and be in his cave, let him. Just wait and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Look for cues. Is he going off and going into his special place by himself, shutting the door, and don't engage him yet? He'll come out when he's ready.
If he feels safe with you.
Incredibly difficult for women to wait for that. But it's important, I agree with you, to wait and let him share those things when he's ready to share those.
It may be that he's buried it so far that he is not in touch with it, or he doesn't feel safe enough, probably both, to let you in on that. And then one day, as you get closer and closer to him, but to protect himself, he has buried it. For whatever reason, being patient, let him be down there, do the things you can do to encourage him and to help him to feel safe to come out.
You could find something that you appreciate about him or admire about him. Show some understanding.
And when he walks in the door, if he's stressed, don't throw out I sure love this about you, because it'll look more contrived.
Wait.
So, but wait a few minutes and then notice something right then, not something yesterday, something right then, and say, I just love the way you do this.
This has been really helpful. Thank you so much. I think the biggest takeaways that I have, let him stay in his cave, go where he needs to go. I love the fight or flight freeze. So thank you so much. And for everyone watching, definitely watch our episode about self-esteem. I think that relates to this episode as well as when he snaps.
Yeah.
Don't forget to click the link below where you can get copies of all of our materials. You can get Dixie's book, Dixie's workbooks. Our social media platforms are all attached below in the video. And we will see you next time. Bye.